Channel Sports Central, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on the Week 1 matchup between the Ole Miss Rebels and the Louisville Cardinals. Big matchup coming up here in Week 1. We got two teams of which who could definitely have great seasons coming up here in 2021. Ole Miss on one side improved a ton over the course of the 2020 season, and Louisville is returning a ton of talent from the 2020 season. So both teams have definitely got some big potential and upside heading into this 2021 season. So that makes it we're going to go over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today. Starting out with some of the info on this matchup, which is going to be on Monday night, September 6th. So it's going to be the final game of Week 1. Atlanta, Georgia, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So we've got this game in a neutral location, obviously on Monday night. Line currently says Ole Miss by 10. So the Rebels are favored significantly in this matchup. ESPN FPI is going also kind of on the Ole Miss side pretty heavily, 70%, which I think this is going to be a close matchup personally. I think both teams are definitely kind of in a same situation where both teams definitely got a lot of talent. I think Ole Miss is the more talented team right now, but that doesn't mean that Louisville can't win it. So, but yeah, Ole Miss is currently ahead in the spread by 10. So do keep that in mind. But the over-under is extremely high in this matchup, 75.5. I'll just tell you guys right now, if you're into betting, I would take the under in this matchup. I mean, both offenses are good, but I don't think in Week 1 we're going to see a combined point total of over 75. I mean, that just does not seem very realistic to me. But series history, this is actually the first matchup as well between Ole Miss and Louisville, so that makes it even more of an interesting matchup. Here's a stat comparison for this game. Ole Miss last season was they did very well offensively, 39 points per game. However, the defensive side wasn't quite as good. They had 38 points allowed per game last season. They had 344 pass yards a game, which of course Matt Corral, their quarterback, was outstanding last season. So that's a big reason why this Ole Miss team was successful towards the end of last season, was because of their quarterback, Matt Corral, which I could see Matt Corral definitely being a top 3 quarterback in the SEC this upcoming season. I think I ranked him as number 2 in the SEC. So yeah, he is definitely a player to watch out for moving forward. They also had 210 rush yards a game, 276 pass yards allowed, 165 rush yards allowed. As for the Cardinals, 30 points per game, 27 points allowed. They had 244 pass yards a game, 200 rush yards a game, and 241 pass yards allowed, and then 132 rush yards allowed. So this was a Louisville team last season that was pretty balanced offensively. They had a pretty good passing game, Malik Cunningham, but they also had a decent rushing game as well. Obviously, with them averaging 200 rush yards a game, that is definitely something that stands out. So overall, both teams are pretty high-powered on the offensive side of things, but which definitely explains why the over-under is so high. But I mean, of course, both defenses are still returning quite a bit as well. So we could see the defenses on both sides of this game improve heading into this upcoming season. But looking at some key points for this matchup, once again, Ole Miss was 5-5 last year, and Louisville was 4-7. So heading into this matchup, Ole Miss, once again, is the more talented team. They got the better quarterback and overall a better team. But once again, that doesn't mean that they're going to win this matchup. So I think it's going to be close. I don't think that Ole Miss wins it in a blowout by any means. I think Louisville does stick around. But once again, I mean, Ole Miss is definitely the more talented team. It's just a matter of whether or not Louisville can play better on Saturday. Matt Corral is back. Very underrated quarterback. Not many people are talking about him. But he definitely, I mean, he had a great 2020 season. And not many people really paid attention to it. But this is one of the more improved teams of 2020. We saw this Ole Miss team kind of struggle at the beginning of the season. But at the end, I mean, they beat Indiana in their bowl game, and overall they looked very good. So this Ole Miss team, I would say, is definitely an SEC dark horse. I don't think that they'll be in the contention to win the conference, obviously. But I do think Ole Miss could cause some trouble. Potentially, they could upset a team or two this upcoming season. So do be on the watch out for that. As for Louisville, I mean, this team could also be considered an ACC dark horse. I mean, you got Malik Cunningham coming back. You got a lot of returners from 2020 to 2021. I mean, so this Louisville team does have plenty of potential heading into this upcoming season. So that's what makes this matchup so interesting, is because you got two teams that are on the rise right now for sure. It's just a matter of which team can get the win here and start off their season 1-0. So that's what makes this matchup crucial. That being said, let's go ahead and look at my prediction for this matchup, Ole Miss Louisville. I'm going to go with the Rebels. 34-31 is my projected final score. So I've got 65 total combined points. So about 10 under. So I am predicting the under quite significantly in this matchup. Actually, I think it's going to be pretty. I'm pretty for sure that we'll see the under in this matchup. But yeah, 34-31 is what I'm going to say here. Ole Miss will get the win by a field goal. So there's a good chance that this game comes down to the wire, and potentially we come down to a final field goal to finish out the game. And I think Ole Miss does win it, but it's going to be very close. Louisville, I would not be surprised if the Cardinals won this matchup. So do not be too confident that Ole Miss wins it. I think Ole Miss, once again, is a team that I think should win this matchup, but Louisville, I would not be surprised if they did win it. So yeah, that being said, also, probability is Ole Miss 60%. So I am not too confident with picking this matchup. I think Ole Miss does win it, once again, 60%, but I do think it's going to be close. Halftime score, Louisville is actually going to lead at the half, 21-17. So I do think we see more of a high-scoring first half. But overall, in the second half, things come down to 34-31 with the Rebels getting the win. So that being said, that wraps it up for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup. And I appreciate you guys all watching. Stay tuned for more from Ole Sports Central. I'll see you guys later.